What's up YouTube, it's TF Collector, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series 33 Voyager class BONECRUSHER from the 2007 Transformers movie. And with that being said, let's go ahead and put BONECRUSHER off to the side and take a look at the box that he does come in. You can see on the front a nice picture of BONECRUSHER. He is number 33 of Studio Series. His name is BONECRUSHER. He's a Decepticon, ages 8 and up, Hasbro, Transformers, Generations, and Takara logos there. On this side, a nice profile image of BONECRUSHER 33 Studio Series Voyager class. On this other side, a more zoomed out image of BONECRUSHER, not a bot logo there, and authentic there. On the back of the packaging, he is big screen inspired from Transformers, the 2007 movie. His name is BONECRUSHER from the Highway Showdown. You have some nice product images there. Transforms in 33 steps. BONECRUSHER tackles Optimus Prime off a highway overpass, viciously thrashing at his enemy with his razor-sharp claw. Also, collect Optimus Prime, who we have, and we will see him with later. Backdrop included, we'll take a look at the end of the video. Hasbro on the bottom, barcode on the top, Transformers. And before we get to the figure itself, he does, of course, include his instruction manual. Here it is, 33 Studio Series BONECRUSHER. There he is, Transformers, Voyager class, Transformers. 8 and up, Generations on the back, Takara and Hasbro. And with all that being said, here is BONECRUSHER in his alt mode, very reminiscent of what we see in the movie. I think this turned out really well, but coming close so you can see the details you can see on the front. Here we do have the tan plastic all the way around. You have some nice detailing though all throughout. You can see a little dust there from where he's been on the shelf. Can't really get to that with my finger though. You can see some nice molded details all throughout, some nice silver included up top. Of course, his big claw. We'll talk more about that in a second. Some silver headlights on the front. The wheels all painted in this tan color. Even the spare tire got a little paint in there, which is a very nice touch. These do not spin, but the other three do. You have the nice blue for the windows. And overall, just on the back, also you have some nice molded detailing. Now his hands do stick out the back. They're supposed to be like that, but they do stick out the back, as you can see. So that is a bit of a complaint of mine. For some reason, that wheel doesn't want to line up sometimes. But overall, I think what we get here in alt mode looks very reminiscent of what we got in the film. And like I said, we do need to talk a little bit about the claw because it can articulate. You have a hinge right here. Well, that's not included. That's supposed to tab in, but it doesn't really tab in. You have a hinge right there at the base. You have a hinge right there to go side to side. You have a hinge right there to go up and down. You have a hinge right there to go up and down. You have some hinges right here that we can't use right now because it's all tabbed together. But as you can see, it is a nice little claw. And it does have a lot of articulation. You can have them whacking people. You also have a mushroom joint here, so you can have it rotating. Whatever you want to do, you have all kinds of options for what you can do with BONECRUSHER's claw. And as far as accessories go, nope. Right here, this is your accessory. What you see is what you get. No accessories included, but he doesn't really need any. I mean, it would have been nice if they would have included Frenzy with this guy, because he's a Voyager. He could have came with Frenzy, since, you know, they didn't want to put him with Barricade. But he does have his claw, which is the only weapon we see in the movie. Should have put Frenzy with him, but no accessories with this figure. And now for a few vehicle mode comparisons. First, here is BONECRUSHER with his murderer, Optimus Prime, who we took a look at in the last video. Check that out after you watch this one if you haven't already, but you can see these two figures do look pretty cool together here in alt mode. And here is BONECRUSHER with his fellow Studio Series Decepticons. We have Blackout, Starscream, Brawl, and Barricade. And I think so far the team is shaping up pretty awesome. We, of course, only have Megatron left, who is a little bit further down the line, but we will get to him eventually. And unfortunately, no Frenzy. And we'll show Scorponok off when we get to the robot modes. But this is an awesome looking Decepticon team, and I think these alt modes turned out beautiful for each and every one of them. And I think that's about all I have to say about the alt mode for BONECRUSHER. Overall, looks pretty movie accurate. A lot of tan going on, but that is how it looks in the movie. So I think they did a pretty good job with this guy. Like I've mentioned, I do wish he would have came with Frenzy since he was the Voyager price point, and they were packing some little figures with Voyagers and Leaders at that time. But all being said and done, I think the alt mode looks pretty cool, but let's go ahead and transform him into his robot mode and see if it is just as awesome. So the first thing we're going to want to do is come to the back here and just flip his hands up like so. Then we can come over here to the sides and we're going to untab these pieces on each side like so and like so. You can see those just tab in right there. And now we have to work on his massive hooking or claw or whatever you want to call it. So basically what you're going to want to do is just bring this all forward, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and rotate it 180 right there. Then what we're going to need to do is bring it over right here like so, and then what we're going to want to do is pull this piece all the way around like so, and then what we're going to want to do is pull this piece down like so, and then what we're going to want to do is rotate right here at that part and have that sitting like that. So basically what you want is you want this pipe facing outward, you want this piece going to the right, this piece down, mushroom peg will be outward, and you want that piece straight up. So that is how you want the big claw of death to look. Now for the easy part, you just want to untab this, rotate these pieces 180 on each side, and just bring this down and out of the way, and we'll angle that around later. Now what you can do is come here and just untab that part and bring that forward. Now what we can do is come back here and work on the rest of the body. So it will detach right here. You can see some tabs just go up in notches up in there. And now what you're going to want to do is split this whole top section in half. So just split this all in half like so, just bring it back, get it out of the way. And now what you're going to want to do is flip this piece up. You can see it is just on a hinge on this piece, so this whole piece will come up, and that will rest right there, right underneath of this piece, like so. Now what we can do is raise the camera, whoop, and we can work on his arms. So what we want to do is come here and just untab these pieces, bring them down, bring that piece in, come here, untab these pieces, and bring it in. Then what you can do is come here, extend the arm down, rotate it, bring it down, come here to the elbow. What you're going to want to do is straighten that out, and then untab this piece and just angle that however you want for now. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, of course. Bring this piece down, rotate 180, straighten out the elbow, bring the arm down, and untab that piece from in there. And now what we can do is we can work on the legs. So the first thing we're going to want to do is split them from one another. You can see they just notch into each other on his toes right there. And basically what you're going to want to do is bring these up a little bit, and these wheels are on hinges and they're going to rotate around all the way. So you can just bring those all the way around like so on each side. Then you're going to want to come under here, flip out these skirt pieces like so, and now you can bring his crotch down like that. Then we're going to rotate 180 at the thigh on each side and come down here to the feet. Now you're going to want to straighten his knees out a little bit just so his leg is angled properly. Come here and flip this toe out on each side. Just flip that toe out, and then take this piece and rotate it around. So now you have his 3 toes like that. And we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. Just real quick, rotate 180, straighten out the, I'd already rotated 180, straighten out that knee a little bit. Whoa, now I'm going backwards. Then bring the toe out, rotate this piece around, and there you have his legs. Now you're going to want to angle these down here and line them up with the crotch, because what's going to happen is this whole piece is basically just going to swing forward, and these 2 pieces here are going to click up in there, so you can feel that click. And that is how you want that situated. So we can bring his arms forward, get him all situated, and then we can come to this back piece and basically just situate it however you want. Me personally, what I like to do is just bring them down and have them angled out to the sides a little bit. The instructions have them straight up and down. I like to pull them out to the side a little just because it's the way I like it looking. But with all that said and done, there you have Studio Series BONECRUSHER in his robot mode. And when he's all done and transformed, I think that this robot mode is very reminiscent of what we get in the movie, and I am very happy with it. But coming in close so we can take a look at the details, you can see that face sculpt there looks pretty awesome. You have the silver there for the eyes, the tan, of course, some dark grays, but I'm loving the silver that they put around the eyes. I think the eyes are even picked out in red. I'm not sure if the camera can get that, but there is some red in the eyeballs, which is very nice. You have silver on the chest. You still have the blue window going on there. Overall, a lot of what you've already seen in car mode. You do have these two pieces that come out over these wheels. Looks pretty cool. He did have crotch transformation, which was some awesome stuff. Overall, a lot of tan going on, but you do have your nice hints of silver here and on the chest, of course, as I've mentioned. But overall, lots of silver, lots of gray, but that's really what he was in the movie. When it comes to backpack, there really isn't one. You just have his claw, which is where it's supposed to be. So overall, I think this robot mode has turned out to be pretty daggone accurate. And when it comes to articulation, the head can rotate side to side here. It's also on a piece at the base that can move left to right. The shoulders can do full 360s. With another awesome piece of articulation is you get a butterfly joint. They can move in and out. You get bicep rotation. You get gorilla elbows, and if you really want to use this piece, you can get some more gorilla elbow going. Due to transformation, this piece here, if we hold the elbow in place, can move around if you want it to. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately, but the legs can go forward that far. They can go back that far. Outward movement. You get more than a full split, which is awesome. You do get rotation at the thigh, 90 degrees at the knee, and something I've just noticed doing this review is you get a very deep ankle tilt. Now this toe stays here for whatever reason, but you do get a really nice ankle tilt. So overall, not a poorly articulated figure, and for his design, I think they put some articulation in there very well. And one tidbit of articulation I forgot to mention earlier in the video is the thumb can move and the wrist can also move around. Just a little more articulation to add to that section. And when it comes to his accessory that's really attached to him, you can do whatever you want. You have hinges. You now, where you untabbed it, have a hinge here and a hinge here, so you can do this all you want. But other than that, it's just the same hinges that it's been on. And of course, these pieces can rotate, as you saw during transformation. All kinds of stuff that you can do with his big claw if you choose to do so. And for a few comparisons here in robot mode, first here's BONECRUSHER with Studio Series 32. Optimus Prime, his murderer in the movie, his wave mate, and you can see I think they look really good together. They're very scale accurate as far as I know, and I think they do look very cool together. You can really reenact that scene from the original Transformers movie with these two in your collection, and I definitely recommend both of them. And here is BONECRUSHER with the rest of the Decepticon team so far from the 2007 movie, and I think they look absolutely awesome. Other than the Masterpiece movie lineup, I think this is by far the best lineup you can get for this set of Decepticons. Megatron will be later down the line, and we'll get the whole team together after we do that review. But for now, I think the team is looking absolutely awesome. And last but not least, here is BONECRUSHER with a CG model of himself from the movie. And yeah, they really hit the nail on the head with this figure. I think he turned out really good and looks very close to perfect as he did in the movie. And the last thing to talk about, moving BONECRUSHER out of the way here, is the sadly now discontinued backdrop that used to come in the box with these Studio Series figures. You can see 33 Studio Series Transformers, authentic Transformers, Autobot logo, Generations backdrop there from where Optimus Prime tackles him off the back, and we can plop BONECRUSHER down right there, and that does make for a pretty awesome display option. So there you have my review for the Transformers Studio Series 33 Voyager class BONECRUSHER, and overall, I think they really did a great job with this figure. They continue to knock these 2007 Decepticons out of the park. Aside from Brawl, he could have a few little tweaks, but overall I think the group is looking really good together, and this guy is certainly no exception. The alt mode is very screen accurate. The robot mode is also very screen accurate. He has more articulation than I was expecting, even though he doesn't have a waist swivel, which would have been a nice inclusion, but the ankle pivots and the hand articulation kind of make up for that. You can see you can get him into some pretty cool poses using his claw, so although he doesn't come with any accessories, I do wish he would have come with frenzy maybe, but having the claw be posable and able to put him in pose like this is a very nice substitute for an accessory. And he didn't really have an accessory in the movie, so you can't really complain about them not giving him something that he never had. So overall, robot mode looks good, vehicle mode looks good, transformation is smooth and fun, and I enjoy flipping him back and forth. I really like the step where you flip the little hip skirt pieces into the middle section when you're going into truck mode. I think that's a cool little engineering aspect. But overall, I think this guy looks great alongside the other Decepticons and Autobots from the 2007 Transformers movie. So if I had to rate BONECRUSHER on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. I don't think he's the most fun figure in the world, so I'm not going to give him like between a 9 and a 10, but an 8.5 is, I feel like, is a good spot for him to be sitting, because he is a really good figure that I would certainly recommend. So that's all I have to say about BONECRUSHER. He gets a 8.5 out of 10 and a recommendation, and we will be back soon with Megatron from Dark of the Moon. He is number 34, so he will be next in this lineup. And also, Studio Series 117 Bumblebee has just started shipping out. I got the email earlier, so we'll take a look at that figure here soon. So a couple things to look forward to here on the channel. So don't forget, never sacrifice the things you love for the approval of others. I'll see you guys with Megatron soon, and until then, roll out. Peace.